champions.
Champion, 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 champion.
On 32 FM, 94.9.
Right, good morning, and of course, it's the Break It On Papers review this wonderful Saturday morning on your Laughter Dive 32 FM 94.9, and it's a few minutes past the hour 6 a.m. And I'm sure that you're up and sound this morning as we go through the papers together. My name is GBOLABO, famous school, and it's really great to have you join us on the program. All right, it's June the 28th, 2025, and of course, we're diving straight to into the Punch newspaper this morning, and of course, on the front page of the Punch newspaper, Wike Fubara feud, governor supporters clash over peace deal, deadly jealousy, blood bruises as ladies fight dirty over men. Why APC National Chairman Ganduje resigned, things to know about Nigeria's new tax laws. I'm married with Dr. Ernest Nwokolo. That's a bit of lifestyle. Over 7,500 freed as government moves to decongest prisons. Missing by design, how desperation, deceit fuel dangerous self-abduction business. And still here on the front page of the Punch newspaper, we have more headlines. Police to prosecute Ghanaians, Nigerian for alleged fraud. A landmine kills 1, injures 5 in Imo. Ogun police officer nabbed for car theft. Ondo father wants justice for raped daughter. 14 Chinese face deportation for aiding terrorism in Nigeria. And still looking at the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines here. Stock market sheds 491 billion naira, a weekly loss. And Nigeria needs economic transformation, not incremental change. And a bit of politics. PDP must resolve crisis before convention, coming from former Senate President Saraki. And Dalori takes over as APC acting chairman. 2027 PDP SDP orders form coalition in Gombe against APC. Senate will end Rivers political crisis, says Akpabio. And still here on the Punch, Lagos host pest controllers table tennis tourney. And why a switch from Nigeria to Canada, coming from a galley. All of that, some of the headlines you'll find out here on the front page of the Punch newspaper. All right, moving on, we'll look at The Nation. Rivers, how Wike Fubara meeting set stage for peace deal. Dalori in as Ganduje quits APC chair on health grounds. We are under attack by saboteurs. NNPC management cries out. And more headlines here says Messi mania. Messi stakes impressive record against PSG at Club World Cup. Osun APC Guba aspirant emerge, battle lines drawn. While we're back, Gambam suspension by SDP state chairman. Now strikes killed several tourists in Niger. CDS visits Benue for peace talks. Security agencies will address potential threats to elections, says Ribado. And more headlines here out of The Nation. Tayo Faniro, I'm built for the screens. That's a bit of lifestyle. And more here on the front page of The Nation newspaper this morning. Kills man slams El Rufai over tax on Tinubu APC. Peter Obi's contradiction, double standard or strategic moves ahead of 2027 presidential election, and that has to be a feature. Controversy over Makinde's, all right, some part of it has to be missing. We'll get back on that. This is saying controversy over Makinde. All right, when I get on the headline, we go back there as quickly as possible this morning. That's the bit of politics. It says controversy over Makinde's renaming Ibadan Pole after Olun lawyer. Ashim at 56, a life of activism, politics service. NAS midterm and attacks ahead. Soludo Nwosu and battle for Anambra. All of that is some of the headlines being out here on the front page of the Punch of the Nation newspaper this morning. All right, we'll take a look at the Daily Post as well, and there's some headlines there too out of the Daily Post this morning. Explosion kills 4 in just 21 in Yobe community. APC National Chairman Ganduje resigns, and Tinubu appoints Ishmael Ahmed Chairman Presidential CNG Initiative. Tension mounts as Ganduje prepares to resign as APC National Chairman. NAPTIP declares Speed Darlington wanted for rape, cyberbullying. And we have this one, the ATN Foundation partners reduce SWACO to strengthen agriculture and power smallholder farmers in southwest Nigeria. And more headlines here, still on the Daily Post. EFCC must resume cases against Ganduje immediately. That's according to Madi Shehu. Special seats for women require state support. That's according to Speaker Abbas. Tax reform, Abiodun hails Tinubu's leadership. Predicts economic boost for Nigerians. Monarch condemns killing of security operative vigilante by contest in Rivers. That's Monarch condemns killing of security operative vigilante by contest in Rivers. A more headline here says APC Buka Dalore replaces Ganduje as acting national chairman. Party chieftain reveals. APC Ganduje will be succeeded in acting capacity by national vice chairman Masha Ahmed. That's already overtaken by event with the acting chairman here. And we also have Zamfara APC chieftain Jangebe defects to SDP. He's sad to see Wike Fubara together again. FCT ministers aid Larry Knox lawyer. All right, more here says African leaders have no basic economic knowledge to develop continent. Obasanjo speaking there. Naira records massive appreciation against dollar at official market. All of that is what you will get on the Daily Post this morning. All right, let's take a look at also the cable NG this morning. Quite a number of screaming headlines as well. We'll take them in bits. And this says APC confirms Ganduje's resignation, appoints Dalore acting chairman. APC confirms Ganduje's resignation, appoints Dalore acting chairman. 80.2 billion naira fraud. Yahaya Bello 6 courts permission for UK medical trip. Tinubu confirms Afsutim Bank chair with GCON calls for unity in Africa. And we have Tinubu heads to St. Lucia on state visit, Brazil for BRICS summit. Africa will stop importing fertilizer in 40 months as Dangote. Tinubu appoint Ishmael Ahmed, Buhari's ex-aide, as PCNGI chair. And 1 hour, AI finds viable sperm in man deemed infertile for 18 years. Okay, and more here says Ganduje resigns as Tinubu was Kwankwaso enter APC. Speed Darlington declared wanted for raping 15-year-old girl. U.S. Supreme Court rules judges can't block Trump's birthright citizenship order. All of that are some of the headlines there out of the cable NG this morning. Before we bring us still on board, let's quickly also look at the Vanguard newspaper this morning. On the Vanguard front page, we also have other headlines. And this is talking about 2027 political heavyweights using proxies for party registration. Sarawiwa North Mataya Ogoni Nai on the 7th of national honor. That's Senator Birabi. Why APC National Chairman Umar Ganduje resigned. That's according to source speaking. And all the latest news here on the Vanguard. A letter of Zingman Tinubu schoolmate by Ugoji Ebujo. and Ukwabi Asika the Great by Emeka Obasi, and Schoolboy Errors by Spouses to Be by Francis Ekwerido. And still here on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, we have more latest news and politics says, all right, we're taking that earlier. Opposition parties unite to challenge APC in Gombe. Confusion as APC chair, Gandija resigns, Secretary tussle. Confusion as PDP crisis persists over neck meeting. And more news says Pete Darlington declared wanted for rape cyberbullying. This is how to lead Showumi praises Tinubu for reuniting Wike Fubara. My wife held vigils for me over tax reforms. That's according to Oyedele, the tax boss. And we have here, peace has returned to Rivers. Wike Fubara speak after meeting Tinubu. All of that is some of the headlines you'll find out here on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. All right, we have Austin standing by to do this analysis proper for us this morning virtually. Austin, it's great to have you back this wonderful Saturday morning.
GBOLABO, good morning and thank you for having me.
All right, Austin. I guess we can start off with this, what appears to be truce at last. Some people will say truce at last, especially looking at the big weights in River State fighting, and the grass has been suffering in the state. So to say, the people of River State has been complaining that they want some kind of clemency, whatever way that they called it for Bara. But that is looking like it. Austin, is it the end of what appears to be political turmoil between a godfather and a political son here?
Well, it's looking like the end has come, technically at least for now.
Okay.
Based on the statement by the governor. The governor said this time around they will make sure that they allow the peace to be sustained. So that is coming from someone who has also been able to learn one or two lessons, because in the recent time, Fubara will have seen that it was quite challenging, irrespective of the way you look at the whole scenario. A lot of illegality played out on both sides. And if you also look at it, some people like us advise that it was too early for a politically naive person to draw such a battle line without having mastered politics. So, but now it is there. When the ships are down, you are left alone. Truth has been reached. Fubara became governor with a heavy price. The crisis started with a lot of prices too. So the crisis is ending. There are a lot of prices to be paid. And I keep saying this when the fight was being heated at some point, that at the end of the day, whatever truce that may be broken may not entirely be in the favor of the governor. When the president first of all intervened, of course, the governor agreed that he was going to implement those things, until some people made him realize that he was also, or he's also an executive governor. He can do and not do. Some people have done it before and they got away with it. That somebody got away with something does not mean that when you do, you will get away with it. So as it stands now, I have not been able to examine the conditions of the truce, but I believe that eventually the governor probably will be going home with the shorter end of the stick. Because if you look at it, the scenario is practically the fact that the governor had to negotiate from a position of weakness. Because I know some people, I also read the piece after that incident yesterday. A lot of people have started drumming support for him and say, not grief for anybody. But at the end of the day, for this period under review, the governor has learned that a lot of people that were always going from one place to the other drumming support for him, some of them are no longer there. He would have looked at the back and he didn't see them. So he had to save himself and look for a way to survive politically. Whether we like it or not, that is still the nature of our politics. Is this supposed
But
to be
is it
so?
not
Of
sad,
course,
Austin?
no.
I was actually coming to that, Austin. When you said I was going to ask that question, you took it out of my mouth. That is the nature of our politics in Nigeria. Now, is it not a risk for us having to do or play politics of personality and leave the people politics, which appears to be the popular politics, out of the space and allow the voices of personalities speak volume? What are we heading for, especially for 2027? Is this a good one?
Yeah, it depends on the way you look at it. Those who are in the game, they know the game. No Nigerian politician is for the people. They only whip up public sentiment to make it look as if they want to serve the people. That's far from it. I've always said that I've worked with politicians, I relate with them, I know them very well. No Nigerian politician fights for the interests of the people. Fubara and Wike fight enough. It is not about public interest. It is not about the interest of River. So the truth now, definitely, I know it will not be about the interest of River. It's about political survival. It is unfortunately so. It is easier for people to say, oh, I don't want godfatherism. Godfatherism is bad. We have seen people before who fought tooth and nail against fatherism, and they too want to become godfather. For example, if Fubara is allowed to do ATS, for example, if he's going, he will also want to impose a successor. This is the character, this is the nature of an average Nigerian politician. What they condemn in others, that is what they aspire to be. So that's just the issue. No Nigerian politician, it is the masses. At times I feel sorry, especially on this platform, when people start clapping for politicians. They will make politicians their hero, politicians that cannot be trusted. We were speaking, I think last week, somebody was swearing with his life that so politician cannot cross carpet to another party. I say, I feel sorry for you. I've seen it before. We have had the governor, a former governor in Oyo State before, that said his former party was a latrine. He described his former party as a latrine. And when the time comes, they deceived him that he could be the national chairman of the party, of the latrine party. He had to go back to that latrine party. So that is the character of an average Nigerian politician. The people continue to suffer, except maybe in the years ahead, we make laws to strengthen our institution, pursue politics of ideology, and at the end of the day, the people can start benefiting. But as it is today, GBOLABO, to the right, to the left, even in the center, it's about selfish political interest, political survival, and political ambition. They only use the people as political human shade. That's the truth.
All right, Austin, APC confirms Ganduje's resignation, appoints Dalori acting chairman, and the question is, what next if this happens? Is this going to stop politics of calumny? Is it going to stop smear campaigns that have been part of our political process for a very long time? It's the ruling All Progressives Congress, like it's been said to be, because it has the simple majority, and of course, at the federal seat, talking about the presidency, we have the APC government being in power. But then what does this tell us? Is there anything to say that this is in the positive light for us as a country?
Well, no office is permanent. Power itself is transient. When you say whether it will stop political calumny, well, I'm trying to figure it out, because I don't think it was Ganduje that started political calumny in Nigeria. So how would that end with him? How would recklessness and rascality, political rascality, end with Ganduje? It's just like the end of an era. You know how he emerged, right? He didn't emerge through the convention. The former chairman resigned. Then the NEC had to appoint him to hold that office in an active capacity. And since then, a lot of people were aggrieved, especially people of the North Central. They felt that it should actually be their turn to produce the national chairman of the APC. Now, the president is also calculating for 2027. The personality of Ganduje is controversial in so many areas. So, you know, politicians, the way they do, when they feel that sacrificing you may not really stir the water in a negative light, they can decide to do that. The president is also in bed with Kwankwaso. And you know, by nature, if you understand the Kano politics very well, Kwankwaso, Ganduje, and Shekara, they most time don't be in the same political party. They don't be, especially for Ganduje and Kwankwaso. Don't forget, one was a governor, one was a deputy governor. They ran together twice, but it has gotten to a level politically where they find it difficult to see eyeball to eyeball. So the information that we got was that Kwankwaso was willing to come back to APC, and Kwankwaso do not want to see Ganduje as the chairman of the APC. Of course, he could still be APC member, not like the national chairman of the APC. So maybe in the days ahead, we might be seeing move by Kwankwasia trying to come back to the APC. But like I said, Ganduje will not hold the position forever. He's a old man. He has contributed his bits. And at the end of the day, let another person take over. And whatever they have to do, that is their party, that is their cup of tea.
On Austin, 80.2 billion naira fraud. Yahya Bello seeks court's permission for UK medical trip. 8 years. After 8 years, we have Yahya Bello wanting to go to the UK for medical trip. Austin, what do you think the court can do in this situation? Does it mean that while he was governor for 8 years, there were no operational hospitals in Kogi that the ex-governor could visit for any medical attention here?
Well, if you look at it from that angle, it shows the way our public elected office holder, especially at the highest level, have always been. That made me to remember when former President Muhammadu Buhari came back from one of the overseas medical trips. He said he has never been that sick of his life before. I expected that statement will ignite a paradigm shift in our health sector. But unfortunately, even under Buhari, Asoro Clinic could not even work, could not even treat people who reside in Asoro. So it was that bad. So if the president, who was persistently on the medical trip, could not revitalize our hospital to make it affordable with state-of-the-art facility for the common people, how do you then expect a Yahya Bello of Kogi to build hospital that will make someone like him not to seek medical?
But Austin, let's cast our mind back. Sorry, Austin, for butting in, but let's cast our minds back to January 26, 2024. The headline had it that Yahya Bello inaugurates 110-bed hospital, highlight healthcare successes in Kogi. Was that a charade? Was that a deceit? If the governor, as at then, the ex-governor said they have successes for healthcare, so what happened to those successes that you had to seek medical attention here?
See, GBOLABO, I was talking about what you just mentioned now. That elected office holder try to seek medical attention outside the country does not mean that their medical case is always that bad to the extent that Nigerian hospital cannot even take care of them. Yahya Bello is going for medical checkup because he has seen that former governors who have been on trial, politicians who have been on trial, exploit the option of medical trip abroad to be able to evade justice or trial for the time being. I don't know whether you are getting my point. So even if there is hospital in Kogi with state-of-the-art facility, this element will still have to go out of the country because they are using it as a lacuna within the law to be able to make the wheel of justice to grind slowly until and unless we get to that level, that when you are under trial, you may not be able to travel out except for a critical condition that a medical doctor with valid medical report will strongly recommend that such individual should travel out of the country for a medical treatment for the survival of his life. But this is what politicians do in Nigeria. Any small thing, they will tell you they are going outside the country. All the hospital that they build it for me and you. The road that they build it for me and you. The schools that they build it for me and you. They don't build it for themselves. That is the way Nigerian politicians, that is the way they reason. They feel that they don't belong to us. They are not in our level anymore, especially when they hold power. So that's the sad and the irony of Nigerian political elite. because it is not about hospitals abroad. It is not about the genuinity of the treatment or the medical condition. It's about just showing off, wasting taxpayers' money, and what have you. There was a former governor of Oyo State who was critically sick. He wanted to be flown abroad. He declined. He said no. This former governor died at St. Nicholas Hospital in Lagos. I know you may know the former governor. People that are hearing me this morning will know him. He was also old quite well, but he has the resources. His party was in power. He has the connection to be able to seek treatment overseas. But he declined. He said, "What am I looking for?" In short, from the information we had available at that time, we were told that he was forced out of UCH because he didn't want to go. He said, "I can't go out of the country for medical treatment. Whatever that happened, let it happen. I'm not a baby. Even if I die, let me go." But they persuaded him, they moved him out. They were trying to sneak him out of the country for medical treatment until when he get to Lagos, he said no, he was not going to do that. And they had to check him into that hospital before he eventually died. So this is the character of an average politician. He didn't start with Yahaya Bello. Most likely it will not end with him. It's unfortunately so. We must review that clause that when you are undergoing trial, you should not be able to use the idea of a treatment abroad as a means to slow down the course of justice. We have seen people before who put cast on their neck. We have seen people fainted before in the court just to evade or delay the course of justice. So that's the way we are. But we must build our institution to a level that at the end of the day, people may not be able to explore lacuna to make the justice system grind slowly. So there are a number of factors. It is not about whether hospital is good or bad. Politicians, they have the means, right? There are some people this morning, some of our callers, if they are sick, they can't even say they want to travel out of the country, right? They are not undergoing trial, right? But they cannot say they want to travel out of the country because they don't have the means. A lot of people are looking for survival, but that is the way they waste taxpayers' money. And I'm sure if Yahaya Bello is traveling out of the country today, with the type of relationship he has with his governor in Kogi State, the financial burden will rest squarely on Kogi State government. It is unfortunate.
All right, Austin. Kenya court rules Nnamdi Kanu's rendition in legal orders government to pay damages. Do we see that this particular judgment coming from Nairobi here has watered down what case Nnamdi Kanu is going through in Nigeria? Because this court is asking for damages to be paid, and this is a violation of the fundamental human right of Nnamdi Kanu. What do we say here, Austin?
Yeah, I think the case is good. The judgment is good. That justifies the processes by which Nnamdi Kanu was rendited to Nigeria. What that judgment in Kenya premised their judgment on was that as a citizen, Kanu entered Kenya legally. It is the duty of the Kenyan government to secure and protect him. But rather than secure and protect him, Kenyan authority connived with Nigerian authority, arrested him in a commando style, and forcefully rendited him to Nigeria. And the court has said that was against his fundamental human right. Not just that it was unlawful to do that, but the court had to award a cost against the government of Kenya for allowing that to happen under their nose. So it's a good one. It's a boost for Nnamdi Kanu. It doesn't have anything to do with the case in Nigeria. Of course, the case is undergoing trial. We don't know what might happen at the end of the day. But Kanu has always said that the manner in which he was rendited to Nigeria violated international convention, violated his fundamental human right, and breached his freedom. And so many of us at that time also said that processes was wrong. If you could arrest Nnamdi Kanu in such a manner, there are some people that were listed sometimes ago under the last government as sponsor of terrorism in Nigeria. and some of them have not been arrested. I remember in the last government, a minister, a very strong minister under the last government, was alleged to have had a link with, was confirmed, not alleged, was confirmed to have had a link with Boko Haram. And this minister came out and said he was sorry. The presidency at that time released a statement and said, he said he was sorry. What else do we want, Nigerians? He said when he had that relationship with Boko Haram, he was still very young at that time. He was naive and what have you. So the point I'm making is that the manner and the modus operandi that the Nigerian government used at that time, conniving with their counterpart in Kenya to forcefully bring Nnamdi Kanu back, they could also use that to forcefully arrest insecurity, to forcefully recover loot that have been looted from the country. So this is the irony of a country where all things are not equal. So for me, it's a boost for Nnamdi Kanu, and I salute the judgment that is coming from Kenya. Of course, the case in Nigeria is sundry issues, terrorism, incitement for violence, and what have you. Nnamdi Kanu is proving that. Let's see how that will go. But one thing I've come to always commend as far as the case of Nnamdi Kanu is concerned is that under this administration, the case is receiving expedited hearing, and that is good for Nnamdi Kanu. Even if you are going to convict him or if he's guilty at the end of the day, there is no law that says that you must permanently incarcerate him. It is only under military regime by decree that you incarcerate people. The worst of criminal is entitled to legal representation, and you must subject them to the judicial process. So it's good that that is going on smoothly, despite the fact that in my heart of heart, I still believe that the federal government could deploy a political solution to solve the case of Nnamdi Kanu.
All right, Austin, 14 Chinese face deportation for aiding terrorism in Nigeria. This is becoming a transnational crime, and it's not just within the sub-Saharan Africa region itself, like we thought. Like so many people had said that the Sahel region is some sort very volatile, and we are having a lot of trans-border crime in terms of terrorism here, transfer of small arms, weapons. Now we're seeing that it's having a coloration of Asian hands in all of these terrorism acts that we have in Nigeria. What do we do with the issue of expatriates? I know there was a time we had a policy, foreign policy of visa on arrival, which is expected to open up our economy. But from what the court document is saying, that these Chinese were trying to destroy the economy and social structure of Nigeria. To what extent? We don't know what has happened, what has transpired. But Austin, from what we know with the court papers and what this judgment of the court says, what do we say with expatriates coming into Nigeria, especially Asian here?
Yeah, we must really check that. I love your conclusion, especially Asian. We really need to check that. For every transborder crime that happens in Nigeria, there is always the finger of the Chinese, most especially for cyber terrorism, for Ponzi fraud, for employment fraud, inhuman treatment in Nigeria. Chinese are always culpable. The idea is this: some of them, they come from their country. Some of them do not even have basic education. Some of them don't know how to speak English, and we call them expatriates. They come in the name of investor, and at the end of the day, they connive with some of our people to destroy our economy. I love that they have been convicted or they have been arrested and they are going to be repatriated. Me, I'm not comfortable with that. Have they served their jail term? They need to go to prison. Let them go to prison before repatriation. That is the way it is. Some of our own nationals that commit crime abroad, they don't just repatriate them. You don't just repatriate people. So you make them to face the law. Let them be punished so that it can serve as a deterrent. At the end of the day, after they serve their prison term, you can send them back to their country. So the government must come up with stiffer regulation to regulate these people in the name of job creation. Go to Lagos, go to the atrocity that these guys commit in the industrial hub of Lagos. They commit atrocity, They manhandle our people. They maltreat them. Some of them do not even have basic school education, but they come to our country and they become lord over our economy. Go to our mining sites, they are the ones destroying our environment, operating illegal mining sites, and what have you. I think the other day too, a Chinese maybe employer was caught on camera distributing maybe 500 naira. Can you still remember? Sharing 500 or 1,000 naira to our police. So our police officer, 𝐒𝐑𝐻𝐾 said he was going to deal with that situation. I need to look for a way to follow up on that, because we must arrest that. We must arrest that ugly situation. What they do, they cannot do 1/10 of what they do in Nigeria in their country. They can't even do it, let alone even we ourselves. So the government has to protect our own citizens to make sure that this transporter crime will not continue to permeate. We have a lot of people, those that are killing our people in the northeast, in the north central, in the north west. Most of them are to it. But if it comes down by 100 naira, they will never react to it. They will never react to it. They will never see the reality. Just like fuel station owner, when they increase pump price, they will adjust it immediately. When pump price reduce, they will tell you that they have old stock. They will need to exhaust their old stock before they adjust their price. So for me, the government should continue to do more. The only sustainable way to increase or to show up the value of our currency is aggressive production that will result into massive export of produce. If we don't do that, every other monetary policy that will be put in place will be like a stopgap measure. Of course, I do not believe that the current measure. Of course, I do not believe that the current value is the true value of our currency. I believe that government need to do more. It's good to float the currency in one way because it's relatively stable, but we can still bring it down. Till then, we must be able to also stand in the gap for the people as a government so that the people will not suffer unnecessarily. Before I round off on that, it is only in Nigeria that national currency are traded, that foreign currency are traded on the streets. It is an illegal offense. That is why they call it black market. In some African country like South Africa, for example, you can't spend dollar. Nobody will take dollar from you. Even if you want to change dollar in their currency, they will
20,000 naira fún wa láti máa jẹ lójoojúmọ́ pẹ̀lú 500 naira. bó o lẹ́ẹ̀tì ṣe jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́ ẹ lọ tẹ *347*253# lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbáraẹnisọ̀rọ̀ yín èyíkéyìí nẹ́tíwọ̀kì tẹ́ bá ń lò ẹ fi iye ìgbà tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ tà sí. wọ́n send account number tẹ́ ẹ lè lò lẹ́ẹ̀kan péré sí yín. ẹ sanwó pẹ̀lú backup yín USSD àbí kẹ́ ẹ ṣàbẹ̀wò sí POS tó súnmọ́dọ̀ yín yẹn pẹ̀lú account number tó ti wà lọ́wọ́ yín. èyí ṣe pàtàkì ìṣẹ́jú díẹ̀ péré ni account number ń fi lè ṣiṣẹ́ ó sì wà fẹ́yìí tẹ́ ẹ ta yẹn nìkan. bẹ́ẹ̀ bá kọ̀ láti sanwó sórí account number yóò ṣàdínàgbò òkú fún yín látún ti ta lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ṣe ta tó pọ̀ sí ni àǹfààní ṣe wà ń bẹ̀ fún yín.
ẹ kàn sí wa ní 32FM Àjàkẹ́ni Cocoa House nìbàdàn tàbí kẹ́ ẹ pè sórí àwọn nọ́mbà yìí 09115550055 tàbí sórí 09164615000. Soft Sands Property òrùlé fún tẹrú tọmọ.
ọ̀rẹ́ mi tí ń bẹ nílùú òyìnbó sọ pé àwọn máa ń ra ẹlẹtíróníkìsì wọ́n sì máa sanwó ẹ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀ bí wọ́n ti ń gbowó lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n ní nàìjíríà wa yìí ó máa gba 20,000 naira wọ́n sì máa retí pé kó kó 500,000 naira wà lẹ́ẹ̀kan náà láti fi ra nǹkan bó bá fẹ́ ra TV náà ó máa towó jọ bí ẹni dọ́jọ́ ìgbéyàwó sọ́nà.
àlàyé farabalẹ̀ ṣó o tí ì gbọ́ nípa CDK ni.
ó dé o CDK kí ni.
níbẹ̀ lèmi ti ra fóònù ọwọ́ mi tó ń wò yìí fìríìjì washing machine home theatre tí mo sì ń sanwó díẹ̀díẹ̀ kódà kò ní owó èlé kankan iye tán sì ń tà lọ́jà gan-an onímúra.
irọ́ o ṣé lóòótọ́ wọn ò fowó kankan kún kẹ̀.
ọ̀rẹ́ wa n ò fowó kankan kún kódà gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tí mo rà lọ́dọ̀ wọn ni wọ́n ti gbé fún mi tí ì sì tí ì sanwó mi tán tí mò ń sanwó mi díẹ̀díẹ̀. ọ̀rẹ́ wa kí ló dé tó ń yọra rẹ lẹ́nu ǹjẹ́ ló mọ̀ pé pẹ̀lú CDK o lè ra àwọn nǹkan èlò inú ilé tó sì máa sanwó díẹ̀díẹ̀.
download CDK báyìí lórí Google Play Store tàbí App Store.
CDK, making life easier.
32 FM 94.9.
All right, you're welcome back. You're still on to Break It On People's Review here on your Laughter Dial 32 FM 94.9. And of course, it's great to know that you're still there. And it's right about time to open the phone lines and also take your comments on our socials. Do remember we are live on Facebook in case you want to drop your comments. 32 FM 949 Fenye with double A's for you to drop your comment on Facebook. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Bravo.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Austin. My name is Tonya Brown. Well done to you both this morning.
Thank you, sir.
Two things on the menu. Ganduje leaving the APC as the chairman. It's not about APC to tell us the truth. It's not about medical condition. He has been schemed out of power. But I think there is an opportunity for him to go and answer all the gandolas and cases standing before him. It's not about any medical situation. No. He has been schemed out of power as I speak to you. The APC should come alive and tell us the truth. Yahya Bello, seeking treatment abroad. Politicians have always abused our sensibilities. Yahya Bello is trying to evade justice. There's nothing, he wants to evade justice. And because we have porous situation, I mean, when you are so strong, we have this financial, these watchers, then you can get away with anything. With all the atrocities Bello committed, and now he wants to evade justice. He wants to run away. The Nigerian government should not grant, of course, God should not grant that permit for him to travel overseas. Let him stay here and answer all those corruption cases standing against him. And finally, Nnamdi Kanu, justice from Kenya. Of course, that's a good thing, and he must be executed. You can't go and grab the man, a citizen, and pull him out and put him like in a crate and brought him in Nigeria and begin to try him. And of course, I thought by now that the president would have had a political solution to the case of Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu is not the worst of them all about, we have seen situations of people who threaten the sovereignty of Nigeria, and they are walking along the street. What is it that Nnamdi Kanu issue should take years? I mean, the government, President Tinubu should take action, take political solution, and release that man. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tonya Brown, for that. The numbers are 070-550-949 or 080-97949 plus 234-90-62,949. Do remember, we also live on Facebook in case you want to drop your comment. That's 32 FM 949 Fenye with double E's on Facebook. We take this one. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, GBOLABO.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Ade from UI.
All right.
On Ganduje matter, I want to comment very briefly. It's not scheme out of politics. It's not nothing going to happen to him about all his gandola of a thing. The bottom line is that Tinubu is a tactical politician. He's a very smart politician. My only issue with him is that he should be tactical and very smart in governance. It should not be about politics. What is happening there has been happening for some time. The bottom line is that Tinubu wants to use Kwankwaso as the running mate, and is the leader. People like him very, very well in Kano State. And Tinubu, according to him, he has captured the South now. To him, but it's not like that at all. He wants to capture Kano now, and for that to happen, Ganduje has to step aside, because Kwankwaso, the agreement is that if I want to join your party, I must become leader of the party in Kano State. And that is why Ganduje, as a former governor, people don't like him in Kano State. So he has to bow out for the man that is in charge to become APC leader. How you see the tactics now? You will see in the next few days, Kwankwaso will join APC, and before you know, Shettima will be out. That is a very tactical break, but must it be about politics? Can't it be about you know how to govern? People are dying now, people are suffering now. You are always be tactical about politics. What have you gained with that? What is the gain of an average Nigerian? You know how to play politics. That's why somebody said he has A1 in politics and F9 in governance, which is excellent. These are the best of today.
All right, thank you so much, Ade, for that. And quickly on Facebook, we have Sulaiman Sharif. It says, if Bono gets national chairman, then Kano will get the vice president. Maybe Kwankwaso might be given all of this. Maybe Kwankwaso might be giving all this permutation is about 2027 general elections. Okay, do Babatunde, good happy weekend as well. Okay, do Babatunde, it says Yahaya Bello's barristers saw the lacuna in the law and ready to exploit it so that they could go and spend stock foreign currency in the UK. Let us see how the request will be. Tolokwe Adeyemi, still on Facebook, wrote here. It says, good morning, Bolabo. Good morning to you too. You're all right. Thank you so much. EFCC should not leave or allow Yahaya Bello to travel abroad or let him use the world-class hospitals he built while in office. All right. We'll take this one from the calls. Hello. Good morning.
I'm John Newson Jacko. Thank you for your program. Looking at the scene, Fubara, does he look like someone that can withstand the news on Wike's onslaught by any stretch of imagination? I'm not surprised by the recent event because I've said it several times, even in Yoruba language. And you talk about being police or Akpata, and you need for Akpata Obasi Kolo, and you know new for. Even if he chooses to defect to APC, it is left for the people of Rivers to head that sheepishly follow him or reasonably not. I'm John Newson Jacko. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, John Zoko, for that. Okiduna Babatunde, still on Facebook, says, why is it difficult to eradicate black market so that anything that has to do with currency is handled by the banks? And that's a question mark, quite rhetorical. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Happy weekend to you too. All right.
On the issue of River State, well, that is their own luck. So to me, I don't have much to say about it. So it's just that, to me, I see Vara as a weak of the government as far as I'm concerned. So if truly all these conditions can give it to him, about not getting access to the local government chairman and paying the allowances and all the monies of the lawmakers, not even think of coming back for the second time, and all the other conditions too. As far as I'm concerned, as they accepted it, if truly, to me, I see it as a weak governor. What is remain for you? Just 2 years. That's all. So instead of you to just rise up on your feet, go to court. If you win, fine. If you don't win, yes. Similar case, just like that. It might be different in G2PB for former governor of Oyo State, Ladoja. When he having the problem with his godfather here, he went to court and he won. So I don't even understand the kind of governor they paraded in River State. Thank you very much. Thank you and good morning.
All right, thank you so much for that. Austin, we have to leave the studios right about now. Before we go, if you can pick one more call, if you cannot get that, Austin. And wrapping up our call, we'll take this one. You have 30 seconds. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, that platform.
Good morning.
Thank you for picking up my call. Let me bring details to people for that particular place. What I was saying is on the platform. As a matter of fact, the exoneration of dollar in this particular country by our political officials will continue to be seeking country citizens into the stream of poverty. We are too much exonerating dollar here. Why? You see, all these things have diminish our currency between all these among us African countries. Look at our money to our currency to Ghana currency. What are we saying this morning? It's our political officials that because they want to be relevant on a daily basis, so that the country will be continued to be intimidated, to be bullied, to be oppressed. I can't finish the analysis. That's my perspective. Good morning, man.
All right, thank you so much, Ayeni Ezekiel. You meant exonerating naira here, not dollar, I guess. All right, Austin, in one shot, what's the last word? All right, our time is fast spent. We must say a big thank you to you, Austin Udume, for doing this with us this morning. Thank you so much. And to all the callers and those who dropped your messages on Facebook, we also say a big thank you to you. Baba Fendo is up next, and my name is GBOLABO. Famous call. Bye.